Hello and welcome back to my nail corner. You guys, I am so excited to share this with you today. First, let me explain my hands. My right hand is shorty short with some builder gel on it. It is one of the new pearly builder gels from Triple D. And then my left hand is a little bit of a mix. I've been wearing like a milky pink builder gel, and I've kind of filed most of that off and then have like a very, very sheer pink over it. And my hands are all beaten up, so I apologize for any injuries you'll be viewing in this video. Look at this collection. Actually, this is trios. These are holiday trios that I collaborated with Gigi's Custom Dips up in Canada to do. I was so honored when she reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to collab with her, and I was excited to do something near the holidays. So I really like to wear holiday-ish colors, like they can be themed towards Christmas, but that they're not the true like bright red and kind of true like Kelly green. I really like kind of a non-traditional but definitely suiting of the holidays. So this is what we came up with. I also really like it when there's a coordinating set, because sometimes I know I sit down and look at my collection and just cannot decide what to do. So I love when something's available in a duo or a trio that's coordinating, so it just takes the kind of thought process out of it. I just kind of decide what color I want to go with, and then those sets are already available. So I'm going to get into my dips. I am using Gigi's Customs base. I love her liquids. They're phenomenal. Really nice packaging. I love the bottles. They're so sleek, and the gold handles are just so classy, and it's a nice thin base. So if you're somebody that likes a nice thin base with the clear brushes and all the good things that I love in a dip base, then definitely check out her dip liquids while you are shopping. So this color is a beautiful deep green, like a sprucey, piney kind of green, and it has a gorgeous shimmer to it. I don't know about you guys, I love a shimmer in a dip. Now, that tool I just grabbed is a precision tool like I always use with my dips, just to clean up around the cuticle line, which you'll see in a second. That is also from Gigi's quite a while ago. I've had that on my desk and I love it. Just for cleaning up, like I said, the dip around the cuticle line. It's going to help you keep that cuticle line really nice and smooth and just kind of help limit some filing needed. I don't know how we ever dipped without such a thing. For a while, girls were like using toothpicks and stuff, and that became like the trend, and then these precision tools came out, and they're so nice because they're reusable, and if you get stuff stuck to them, you can just file it off or put a little bit of acetone on like a lint-free wipe or a paper towel and get it off. But honestly, I've been dipping for 6 years now, over 6 years. And when I started dipping, like there were no tutorials on YouTube. There was nothing to tell you like tips and tricks. I mean, brushing off your excess dip powder, that was like news to us back in the day. There was, I think, one YouTube video that I knew of for dip powder tutorials. So anyway, I look back and I'm like, man, no wonder early dips were like, I was making such a mess. I was contaminating liquids left and right. I had so much filing to do, and I didn't have an e-file, so it was like hand buffing block filing those nails to try to get them smooth. Man, the problems I faced as a new dipper. Anyway, here we are with beautiful tools like a precision tool to clean up around the cuticle line, and I highly, highly recommend. These are beautiful liquids. The first liquids I ever used, I won't name the brand, but they were just so thick. So my layers were super thick, which allowed or like trended towards gunky, lumpy finishes. Anyway, it was a mess, but the right tools and the right what am I saying? Liquid supplies. That's the word I'm looking for. The right supplies make the job so much easier in the end. These dips, look at how they applied. I mean, like a dream. Full coverage in that one dip. Beautiful shimmer. I love this green. And for somebody with olive skin, I find that it has to be the right shade of green for me to like it on my skin tone. And I will tell you, this deep green, this and like oddly enough, like an olive green, I absolutely love wearing. And so when I have a green that I find looks good with my skin tone, I'm all in. So I'm going to do 2 dips of this color and then move on to the glitter. Now, about these trios, I'm going to use the chunky glitter in today's video. As you could see, each of the trios has a solid / shimmer, and then it has a chunky glitter, but it also has a coordinating flaky dip. And I love that because sometimes I'm not in the mood to mess with a chunky glitter to like get everything to lay flat. If I want to go like quicker and just have less kind of work, have a more carefree application, I love a flaky. So I really wanted to include kind of something for everybody so that if there was a moment where you're like, well, I don't need the big pizzazz of a chunky glitter, but I still want something eye-catching, but easy. That's where the flakes come in, and I'll tell you, I love them so much. They're all so beautiful. Jessica did such a good job of creating these beautiful colors that coordinated just perfectly. I couldn't be more pleased. So I've already worn the burgundy trio. I will pop a picture in here for you guys to see. Oh my gosh, I loved it. And I have yet to wear the pinks, but I am looking forward to that. I'm considering like a glitter tip next, maybe, with that beautiful chunky. I really, really like it. So let me know what you guys think. But all of this is to introduce this trio, or holiday trios, to you guys. They are available right now. So Friday morning, November 18th, as of like 6 a.m. Pacific time where I am, I believe, so 9 a.m. on the East Coast. They are available on the website. So definitely go over and do some shopping. And while you're at it, you'll see them later in this video, but I do want to mention the gels over at Gigi's Customs because I love them. I will, like I said, highlight them later because they are like a gel that I reach for on the regular, and right now there's a sale going on for those gels. So definitely consider, if you need some HEMA-free gels, pop those in your cart while you're at it because I have nothing but good things to say about those. So as you can see, I'm applying my chunky glitter like I standardly like to, and that is with the first layer being a pour over. So this helps me, if you guys are if you guys are dippers, it sounds weird to say if you're people, because you are. If you are like me and for a while really struggled to enjoy a chunky glitter because it always felt so thick on the nail, like I was dipping into it and things were sticking up all over the place, and I was like, this is not good, and then I just didn't want to deal with them. But I really love the way a chunky glitter looks. So what I like to do is put my dip base down, pour over the first layer. That is going to catch all of the smaller pieces and like what they're called filler glitters and shimmers that are the base color kind of that dip. Now for the second layer, I like to lay my finger down in the glitters like a cupcake liner. Look at the pizzazz. So you're going to catch more of the bigger pieces that way and just get like full coverage of that nail. And I still do a little zhuzhing if there are any pieces that are kind of hanging over the edge. And sometimes I will add a couple of the chunkier pieces if there are places where I want to fill in. But overall, doing it this way is just a much easier chunky glitter application for me. And I find that it's so nice and thin. It's not like a super bulky nail next to like, I've got a nail that's just got a shimmer pigmented powder on it, and I don't want the next nail to look like a huge bubble on my finger. And this application really helps keep that nice and flush. So that's what I'm going to do for both of those nails. And then, like I said, when I want to add a couple pieces of chunky glitter, I go ahead and apply the base again, and then just use a toothpick or like an orange wood stick or whatever. You can use the precision tool, but then I just have to clean the dip base off of it afterwards. So I like to pick up just like a toothpick or something to pick up the chunky glitters and place them exactly where I want them. But look at that glitter, you guys. I love it so much. You know that I don't really like a yellow gold because, again, I don't feel like it suits my skin tone, but this has just the right amount of like gold to catch your eye, but it's not yellow gold, it's like a champagne. And then the glitters shift so beautifully. So I really love this. I think that this glitter was probably my favorite of all three trios, which surprised me because I'm not usually super drawn to green. But man, this glitter, it grabbed me right away. So moving on, now I've placed some individual glitters on those nails and I am ready. I was like, I need a little something extra. So before I put everything away, I decided to add some glitter ombre to that middle nail right around the cuticle line. So I have right there my ombre brush, which is actually an eyeshadow brush by Wet n Wild. They're linked down below in my Amazon storefront. I think they cost like $1. I've had that one for like years, so they're very long lasting for these purposes. So I just dip that into the glitter and then tap it with my fingernail in my right hand to just drop the glitters at the base of my nail, near the cuticle line, and just slowly kind of move it up towards the center where I want it. This is not a perfect science, you guys. It's really based on how you want the nail to look. And then again, because this process really just drops mostly the fine glitters, I like to then place individually the chunkier pieces kind of where I want them on that nail. So just be careful when you're doing this because you're going to have some loose glitters on there and obviously some wet dip base. So I didn't want to brush it off with my dusting brush and get the wet dip base on my dusting brush. So I decided the risk was to use my dip base while the glitters were still loose, but just make sure you really wipe that off on a paper towel before you put it back into the bottle. That way you're less worried about, or you're less going to get contamination of those glitters in future manis. But I do try to be careful to not get glitters in my dip brush. That's why I love the clear brushes so much, because you can really make sure that they're cleaned off before they go back into the bottle. So this is a color switch. It's also in my Amazon storefront. It's great for cleaning off those eyeshadow brushes, and I just do that before I pop the brush back into my jar and it's ready to go for next time. And then the color switch, I mean, I've had mine for a while. And you can just pop that interior spongy piece out and pour whatever pigment or powder or glitters are in the bottom into the trash. So, and you could wash the spongy part too. I've never done that, but you totally can. Okay, so I just said totally again. I got interrupted by a phone call. It's funny because I always put my phone on do not disturb, but the only person that can bypass that is my husband, because he's in law enforcement and in general he's my husband, and so if there's an emergency I want him to be able to reach me no matter what. So of course I wouldn't expect to be hearing from him because he's off training today, but of course he would call right when I'm in the middle of talking. Anyway, I'm always glad to hear from him, but it's always ironic to me the timing in which that happens. I've done Facebook Lives and had him try to call or text me, and I've been texting back on my watch on a Facebook Live, and it feels ridiculous, but this is the life of a husband. Anyway, I am clear encapsulating. If you are new here, then you're like, what is she doing? It looks like she's dipping her mani in white. This is clear dip powder, and it's going to form a clear layer over my existing mani, and that is going to protect it while I buff and file. So it's going to protect those glitters. Most glitters are silver on the inside, so if you file into them, it's going to mess with the look of those glitters. So a clear dip over top, I highly, highly recommend. So I went ahead and dusted the excess clear dip powder off, and now I am activating. I highly recommend using a stiff bristled brush. You could even use a toothbrush to get the excess clear off, because that's really going to help it look truly clear and not leave any specks on the nail. What you just saw me do was tap on that nail. Now, anyone that's done dip powder before, when the activator cures your nail and it's ready to file, because it makes that tap, tap, tap. Yep, that sound. That's how quick the activator cures from Gigi's Custom Dips. I have used so many brands of dip powder and liquids, and the activator cures and it's fine, but it's usually 1 to 2 minute process. I had just done my index finger and then went on to my thumb, and by the time I tapped on the index finger, it was already cured. It was already hardened. I don't understand how this activator is different from any other I've ever used, but man alive, if you're impatient, this is the activator for you, because it's like ready to go instantaneously. It cured that dip powder so darn fast. I still do 2 applications of activator because I'm a crazy person of like ritual and habit. I have these fresh files that they sent over, and I am so excited because this is the one that I've been like brutalizing for quite some time. I love her files. They're really lovely. That green one is a buffer. So consider that adding those to your cart also. Okay, so here are the gel liquids that I was talking about. You're gonna see them in action. I love them so much. Even their packaging being like in the like rectangular or square-ish bottles, I just love it. They stand out in my collections because they're different than the rest of my liquids. So buy one, get one 50% off on the gels. I also have the matte top coat, and it is excellent. So I am going to go ahead and apply my gel base. Now, if you're using gel over a dip powder mani, I highly recommend this process. That is to apply your gel base first and then a gel top coat. Of course, curing in between, but we'll do that and you'll see that. So I'm going to go ahead and do the gel base, and the reason for that is if you apply gel top coat over a smooth surface, like these are smooth because I just buffed and filed and all those things, your gel top coat is very likely to peel off after a very short period of time. And that was really frustrating for me when I couldn't figure out back in the day why, and I would just stick with my dip top coat because I was like, I can't get this to work, it won't last, it's just going to peel off. However, once I found out that if you apply a gel base first, the gel base leaves like a tacky layer, and then your gel top coat has something to grip onto. And that was a game changer because that gel top coat lasts far longer than my manis do. Like, it's so tolerant, and I am hard on my hands, you guys. Like, the reason my right hand just seems to live in shorties these days is because I use my nails like freaking tools, and it's a bad idea. But look, I have an active lifestyle. We have like the equivalent of a CrossFit gym in our garage, and I move weights and do all kinds of things. I have 2 young kids. We are like moving and grooving. I'm doing dishes and scraping things off of countertops. Like, I brutalize my hands, and so my right hand, I'm kind of liking the shorties, I'm not gonna lie. So I might live in like shorties on my right hand and kind of active to mid-length on my left hand for a minute. But anyway, the gel top coat holds strong. So I've applied the gel base. We're gonna cruise through the top coat because it's the same thing you just saw, except I do like to cap the free edge, and that just helps kind of seal everything in. Because I'm using peel base, it helps it last a little bit longer. And that is the gorgeous, glossy, slick smooth look that we get from these gels. They are top notch. I have no problem recommending it. Also, like I said, they are HEMA free. So if you're somebody who has a HEMA allergy, definitely consider checking them out. So as I always do, I am finishing up my mani with some cuticle oil. I want to help keep that skin around my nails hydrated and healthy, especially in these cold winter months. Like, my skin has been like really taking a beating. As you can see, we did some yard cleanup, and I was brutalizing my hands. So my cuticle oil is helping bring everything back to life. So I hope you guys love these trios as much as I do, and we'll hop over to Gigi's Custom Dips and do some shopping. And look at the shimmer in that green, you guys. Oh, it's to die for. When the sun hits it, like, oh, gorgeous. I'm so pleased with these and so thankful for the opportunity to collab. So I hope you guys have a great night, and great day, great night, great rest of your weekend. And I will see you in the next one. Bye now.